Greetings, community, and welcome to NCBD Comics and another edition of Kevin's most anticipated reads tomorrow for New Comic Book Day, 9/10/2025. It's great to be here. It's great to be alive. Appreciate each and every single one of you that cruise on through, and I do know that it's quite late. It's actually already New Comic Book Day. So to those of you that are over on the East Coast or pretty much in Central now, happy New Comic Book Day. And hey, I just want to make mention. I've actually reached like I don't know. I think it's now 3.5 years exactly. And I want to say to everyone, thank you. Or not 4.5 years, 4.5 years. Each and every one of you, thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you that cruising on through and hanging out with me. And let's go ahead and start off by talking about Marvel Comics. Marvel's going to first bring to us on 9/10/2025 Eddie Brock Carnage issue number 8. I've been loving this series. I've really been enjoying the take that Charles Soule has been writing on this character. The forced relationship between the symbiote and Eddie Brock has made this character, in my opinion, so much better. It is very much mirroring the same relationship that Mary Jane has with Venom presently right now, but in a very much different manner. Very visceral, very well. It's not very mutual. Let's put it that way. And I've been enjoying the fact that Eddie's been trying to set up Carnage, and Carnage is essentially trying to do the same thing and kill Eddie at the same point. It's been an interesting game of cat and mouse, and they've been exchanging who is the cat and who is the mouse throughout the series, and I can't get enough of this. It almost made my most anticipated reads. However, there's so many books coming out this week. I had to pick one, and unfortunately, this wasn't it. This is one of my many anticipated reads for tomorrow on 9/10/2025. Let me take a moment and say, hey, to Jag, dude, appreciate you cruising on through. I have no idea how you're still awake, but I appreciate you hanging out with me, man. All right, moving on from Eddie Brock, Carnage, issue number 8. Let's talk about Edge of Venomverse, issue number 1. Now, the uniqueness about this storyline is it's actually a digital tie-in to the Death of Venomverse that was never released, but until now, on a solid format, floppy form, of course. So I really been digging the fact that it is not only a tie-in to a comic that has been out for quite some time, long ago, but is one that's going to go ahead and kind of, as it states, bridge a little gap. It's a neat little tie-in, and there is some characters that I'm looking forward to checking out. So I'm interested about this actual, I believe it to be a one-shot. So Edge of Venomverse, issue number 1 coming out 9/10/2025. Yeah, seems to be a fun one on this one if you're definitely a symbiote fan. Let's move on from that and talk about Wolverine, issue number 10. Hell Hulk is on a rampage. What more really is there to say? The project ended up doing what it was supposed to do on the back burner, meaning we end up knowing that the scientist had something up his sleeve, being that it was Two-Face. You see what I did there? If you're reading the series, you know what I mean. On this whole demon slash scientist slash using a little bit of science and hell, and just yeah, it's pretty a wild story, and I've really been enjoying it. The fact that it goes ahead and gives us not only a new Hulk, but the way this character of Wolverine has really developed over these years, I really thought it was just going to be a money grab, and I'm really digging this character and this series. So, issue number 10 coming out on 9/10/2025 is pretty high on my list. Let's move on from that and talk about One World Under Doom. Damn. See, I was never really reading all those Fantastic Four and Doom series and stuff, and I really try to stay away from the team series books, if that makes sense. Your X-Men, Invaders, and Avengers, your in the case of this, Fantastic Four, only because they tend to be so extensive in understanding all these multiple characters and so forth. I digress. One World Under Doom not only does a stupendous job of really enticing those that are not really reading these type of series to jump on board and start reading these type of team series, but holy hell, Doom is just awesome in his own way. Again, let me get back to the series. Here we are in issue number 10, and the series has been building around the whole idea that Doom has taken over. Since he inherited not only the source of supreme powers, but he's also essentially taken over the planet, and he's been lying to the whole civilization in the statement that he's doing it for the betterment of all. Well, we knew that wasn't true. We knew it was all about the power and the glory and the fame, and the infamous Doom is just doing Doom stuff. I'm just saying. So we really starts to shed its light behind the veil as it's getting pulled back, and it's really just showing the cracks and in Doom's ultimate plan. I am looking forward to Doctor Strange coming back really sometime soon, and not only stripping Doom of his title of Sorcerer Supreme and re-getting him back to where it belongs, but I just want to see Doom fall. I really been getting into this series. Everyone's doing a marvelous job, even on the tie-ins to the series. And yeah, if you're not reading it, I do highly recommend One World Under Doom. If you're a Doom fan, if you're a Fantastic Four fan, you'll definitely dig this series. Moving out from One World Under Doom, issue number 10, let's talk about Spider-Verse versus Venomverse, issue number 5. Holy shnikes, this has been a really cool series. The fact that the whole idea behind it, in a nutshell, is it's a battle for the Spider-Verse to maintain its survival. It's a battle for the Venomverse to maintain its existence. They've been initially battling one another, and by going ahead and filing allegiance to one another, they end up trying to battle the real problem, the real entities that are really doing the ultimate manipulations in these battles. And it's really been, I mean, it's kind of a classic tale, but at the same point, we've never seen so many spiders. We've never seen so many symbiotes. This has actually been like a who symbiotes. And if you're into the whole Specky thing, yes, there's also new characters. There's first appearances. I'm looking forward to reading into Kage. Myself, I like feudal Japan type stuff, and it really seems like that's what they're trying to get at with this whole new symbiote and first appearance. So just looking to get into it. It is pretty high on my list. Moving up from the Spider-Verse versus Venomverse, issue number 5. Let's talk about the Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, issue number 4. First, I'm going to jump on something. I actually have been talking a lot of spec here. First, I'm going to talk about something I normally don't. It was just spec. The cool thing about this book is we're actually seeing some significance. It's easy for you to say. With Billy, the sister of Miles. Really, this has been kind of a Miles Morales story, getting sucked into the whole vortex and into this whole Ultimate Universe, which is tying into the Ultimate Universe in a way that we're only finding out some of the significance of the character of Billy, not only in the present world that it's residing in now, but in the world and what it comes from. The cool thing about that is for those of you, as I made statement before, that are specking on this thing and put a lot of money into his first and second prints, I think they're starting to pay off now. Just saying. But I've really been enjoying the series. The series is actually kind of cool. It's all been by happenstance and fallen into circumstances that luckily Miles has been able to take care of to some degree. But like I said, I've been really enjoying how it's been revolving around Billy. So if you're a Miles Morales fan and you've been reading any and all the Miles stuff, the cool thing about this is it ties not only to cool background history and storyline of Miles, but the present state of the Ultimate Universe. It's kind of cool if you're reading that too. Moving out from the Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, issue number 4, let's talk about Ultimate Wolverine, issue number 9. It's been pretty heavy on the Marvel side, just saying. Really, I mean, this is what I think most people really want to see with the Wolverine. I mean, this is, use another cliche, ultimate version of the Wolverine. It's kind of cool. As I use the same terms I used earlier, really visceral. There's blood, there's gore, and it's just, I want a whole lot more. I can't wait to how this is going to crescendo in the coming months. We're getting close to the console being released and all hell breaking loose, and I'm ready. I mean, I've been chomping on the bit for a couple of years now, and I'm finally ready. Enough. Let's start seeing the ultimate battles. Let's get into it. This is awesome, and it really is. This is one of the really my favorite. It's probably my second favorite storyline of this whole Ultimate Universe is the Ultimate Wolverine, first being the Ultimate Spider-Man. I really enjoy both these series, and I believe that they have some of the more significant storylines of this Ultimate tale. Just saying. So, Ultimate Wolverine, issue number 9, that fell about 4th on my list of my ultimate reads that I can't wait. My most anticipated reads for tomorrow, 9/10/2025. Let's move out from Marvel and talk about Bad Idea with Cul-de-sac issue number 2. Its introduction of issue number 1 was so much fun. If you're into vampires, if you're into really dark and gritty art that is textured and just gets under your skin just by looking at it, the storyline is delivered in a way that just seems so cold that, oh man, it's kind of giving me goosebumps right now. Cul-de-sac actually it almost was my most anticipated read. It fell short. I want to say it's probably number 3, maybe 4 at most. No, probably number 3. Man, yeah, I'm highly if you're into cool vampiric storylines, this is one you cannot miss. I also do recommend Tony Fleek's issue number B, variant issue B. I keep saying issue B, cover B. When you hold up to a mirror, it has a cursed mirror look, and what that really means is it's mirrored in the back. So when you take a selfie from the front, everything's all mirrored out. It's so cool. They're doing that throughout the whole series, and I'm getting every single one. Just saying. So Bad Idea, Cul-de-sac, issue number 2 comes out to me and you on 9/10/2025. Let's move on from Bad Idea and talk about Mad Cave. Mad Cave Studios, man, I dig you guys, and you keep bringing these cool stories, much like Gotcha Man, issue number 12. Here we are finalizing this arc, and I love how a lot of these books have been recapturing a lot of my youth and bringing them to the present storyline of something I really believe not only people can enjoy, but it doesn't have some of the cliche and campiness that the original series did. So there are some of the jokes that I've noticed that are playing homage to the older series, which is fun for me. And I'm not certain if everyone gets to catch, but if you are an individual much of the same age as myself, I think you may be doing so. Gotcha Man has not only been a fun series of these scientists, ninjas that are protecting us from these space invaders. They are a family that is caring for not only the individuals that support them and care for them, but the whole world as a whole. It's a cool story. I really enjoy it. I don't know if it's for everyone, but it's definitely all ages. Just saying. So yeah, I every time this series, or I should say every time this issue comes around every month, I am so looking forward to it because it more recaptures many of the memories of my youth. So it just takes me back, and I enjoy it for that. Great story, great art, highly recommend it. Just saying. Let's move on from Mad Cave Studios with Gotcha Man, issue number 12, and let's cruise over to Dynamite. This was also another one that just fell short of being my most anticipated reads. This week was so difficult to actually pick my K-M.A.R.T special. It really was difficult. Dynamite is bringing us another one of my childhood or youth favorites, Blue Falcon and Dynamite Mutt. This was something I used to watch as a kid on Saturday morning cartoons. Blue Falcon and Dynamite. Again, it was a kind of a campy joke. The reintroduction of these two characters is far different. Much like to the gravity of the storylines that we get with that Gotcha Man, Space Ghost, Speed Racer, and a reintroduction of these stories from 30, 40, 50 years ago. They're bringing it in present time, and they're bringing it in a way in which that it is so well written, so well told. It's not insulting to the storyline. It's not insulting to the characters. It's not insulting to the reader in any way. It is so enjoyable. And that's why I look forward to this. I really do. I've already got to see like an Ashcan version just on digitally. My point being, like I said, this was so difficult for it not to be my most anticipated read. However, it just fell short. Blue Falcon, yeah, it's gonna be close to that top. I'm just saying. Yeah, it tickles me just thinking about it. Forgive me. Moving on from that, Dynamite Studios and the Blue Falcon and Dynamite issue 1. Let's talk about Space Ghost, as I was alluding to. Issue number 2. I was speaking to David Pepos probably about 4 months ago, 3 months ago. In that time, he was telling me how he has plans for these characters, the characters develop. He also got signed off for essentially 27 already issues for the series, which basically meant 24 issues, 2 annuals, and a one shot. So not only am I really enjoying this, but I had no idea it was going to get this heavy. These characters mean more to me than the Saturday morning cartoons ever did. To me, it was just something that filled in between the cartoons that I was really looking for. I never really read the comic book as a kid, so I am so much enjoying this. Not only it's because it's an individual that I've been following for many, many years in his writings, but he keeps writing the stuff that I not only enjoy, but that are from my childhood. So yeah, not only does David Mann keep writing to my heart, but he keeps writing the things that mean so much to me of my youth. So yeah, this was so difficult for it not to be one of my most anticipated reads. However, it just again fell short. Let's move from Dynamite Studios because they're just killing me with their great books, and let's cruise over to Image Studios. Image is going to start off by giving us Transformers issue number 24. God damn, this series is so good. If you would have said 35 years ago that I'd be reading a Transformers series, I'd be like, yeah, you're kidding. Seriously. Especially on the regular like this. I mean, here I am, 24 issues deep, and this series keeps getting better. The way it's tying into the other series that really give you the overall storyline, what's transpiring in this Energon universe. Transformers does hit a little closer to home, I would say, than maybe any of the G.I. Joe stories. I grew up watching it with my younger brother. We played with the toys. Transformers, the way it's being told present day, I don't think I've had any greater attachment to the storyline than I do present day. And I just, every time, there's another one of those series to where every time another issue comes out, I so look forward to reading it. I really do. It's just that good. Let's move out from Transformers issue number 24 and talk about Redcoat issue 14. What I really enjoy about this series is it's more than just a storyline. It's introspective. There's philosophy in there. There's if you allow it, there's far more interesting storylines going on than the surface of the storylines that are being told. When you go ahead and start looking into the research of some of the things that have where the storyline takes place or how some of the storylines evolved in the background or on the sidelines, that is really interesting. It's interesting also how we're moving through the timelines and slowly moving up to some of the present day other storylines that further form that Ghost Machine universe. And I think we're going to end up finding out how much Redcoat actually is a far more significant player in this Ghost Machine universe than it was originally kind of told, because this guy was originally told as a buffoon and all he could do is just, eat, drink, and do merry. Because he just didn't seem like there was anything more. That it just seemed like by happenstance things kind of happened around him for the betterment of mankind. It just didn't seem like he was ever going to do anything right. And as his character is further developing, it just seems so poignant, you know what I mean, and significant, and how many of us do the same as we go fumbling through our lives, and how we learn, and how significant we are to so many around us, but we don't see it at the time. This story is so cool. I really do enjoy it for everything I not only just mentioned, but how it further just keeps impressing me as the storyline goes along. So I really look forward to how the story goes, because I never know what to expect. As in any story, is that true? But it always takes me back how I end up reading it, and how I guess I internalize it. So that to me is a little bit more than some of the other storylines that I read. And it's not only something, yes, like many of the ones that I mentioned before, that I look forward to reading, but I look forward to reading for a completely different reason. Just saying. So, hey, Red Coat issue number 14, as I said before, and I keep saying again, just fell short. However, this week's Blue Light Special, and I appreciate everyone hanging out with me, is Feral, issue number 16. Did I say six? Yeah, 16. This story kills me. Lord has essentially been found guilty of crimes against Pet City. Everyone's trying to figure out how they fit in. Elsie and Gigi try to save him. They're two are also having issues. There's a lot of infighting. There's been too many animals that have been kept in way too long. They've kind of gone nuts. No one is safe. Nowhere is safe. And it just goes right back to how we were kind of seeing a lot of the same circumstances in The Walking Dead. When it comes to the characters and how they're drawn, how they're depicted, and how we're also talking about kids. Yeah, it's significant. It's sad. And in all of this bitterness, there's always this gleam of hope. We are always hoping that somehow, some way, they're going to end up being somewhere that's going to be safe. We thought it was just going to be Pet City. And it definitely is not. So this week, yes, Feral issue number 16 by Tony Fleeks, which keeps doing it again, is my Blue Light Special. To those of you that hung out with me, I appreciate you so greatly. Jag, dude, you the man. And to those of you that cruise on through, I appreciate you too. Seriously. And if you hung out with me in any significant amount of time, and if you visit me then more than once, I ask of you that you possibly hit that like, maybe subscribe, and I'll see you again. And that's it for me, Entropy. Take care.